The venue was alive with energy. The luxurious beauty and fashion expo in Muscat exuded opulence, with elegant displays, soft lighting, and the fragrant aroma of fresh florals filling the air. Gaida Al-Musalami, renowned for her charisma and unmatched style, was hosting a live workshop, her presence effortlessly commanding attention. Omar adjusted his tie nervously as he entered the room. The reserved journalist felt out of place among the glamorous crowd, but his assignment left no room for hesitation. He was here to cover Gaida MSY's workshop, a task that had seemed straightforward until now. As she took the stage, the room stilled. Dressed in vibrant hues, Gaida seemed to glide rather than walk, her radiant smile lighting up the space. Her voice was smooth, yet commanding as she began her talk, weaving anecdotes with professional insights, captivating the audience with her every word. Omar found himself transfixed, not just by her words, but by the way she carried herself. Her confidence was magnetic, her gestures deliberate and graceful. When the Q&A began, he hesitated before raising his hand. "How do you stay authentic while balancing everything?" he asked, his voice steady despite the quickening pace of his heart. Gaida's eyes found his, and for a moment, it felt as though the rest of the room faded away. "Authenticity isn't something you balance," she said, her tone intimate. "It's something you live fully. And when you live it, the rest falls into place." Her gaze lingered, sending a spark through him. After the session, Omar mustered the courage to approach her. Up close, she was even more disarming. Her perfume, a blend of floral and musk, heightened the charged atmosphere. "Your question stood out," she said, her smile soft yet playful. "It's something I've struggled with," he admitted. Their conversation flowed easily, transitioning from light-hearted banter to more personal revelations. Gaida teased him gently about his cautious demeanor. "Maybe it's time you stopped hiding behind your pen and showed the world who you are." As the evening progressed, the unspoken tension between them grew. When Gaida leaned in slightly, her voice lowering to a soft murmur, Omar felt his heart race. "You've got something special," she said, her tone carrying a hint of something more. "Don't waste it." The hotel room, building desire. They walked together to her hotel, the lively streets of Muscat buzzing around them. At her suite, she paused at the door. "Walk me up," she asked, her voice a mix of confidence and subtle invitation. The suite mirrored her elegance: plush furniture, soft lighting, and the lingering scent of flowers. She set her bag down and turned to Omar, pouring them each a glass of wine. Her movements were unhurried, her gaze steady. "You seem tense," she said, her tone teasing. "It's just—" Omar hesitated. "You're a bit intimidating." Gaida laughed softly, stepping closer. "I prefer captivating." She reached for his tie, her fingers deftly loosening it. The touch was electric, erasing any remaining hesitation. When she leaned in, her lips brushed against his in a kiss that started gentle but deepened quickly, her tongue exploring his. The encounter, the kiss ignited a fire between them. Gaida guided him toward the plush sofa, her hands expertly unbuttoning his shirt. Omar's hands found her waist, sliding over the silk of her dress. "Let me," she whispered, stepping back to let the dress fall from her shoulders. It pooled at her feet, revealing smooth skin and elegant lace. Omar inhaled sharply, the sight of her breathtaking. "You're stunning," he said, his voice hoarse with desire. "Show me," she said, her eyes daring him. She straddled his lap, her hips pressing into him as she moved slowly, deliberately. Omar groaned, his hands gripping her thighs. Their clothes disappeared piece by piece, and when she positioned herself above him, the world seemed to hold its breath. She sank onto him, her gasp matching his groan. Their movements were slow at first, exploring and savoring each other. Gaida's hips rolled with a rhythm that quickened, her hands bracing on his chest. Omar's grip tightened on her waist, guiding her as their pace grew more urgent. She leaned forward, her lips finding his in a kiss that was both passionate and tender. The intensity built, her nails digging into his shoulders as she gasped his name. "Don't stop," she whispered, her breath hot against his ear. Omar shifted, laying her down on the sofa. Gaida wrapped her legs around him, pulling him closer, as their bodies moved in perfect harmony. She arched beneath him, her moans spurring him on as he felt himself nearing the edge. With a final thrust, he shuddered, releasing inside her as she cried out, her climax washing over her in waves. They clung to each other, their breaths mingling as they came down from the high. Afterglow and connection. The room was quiet save for their soft breathing. Gaida rested her head on Omar's chest, her fingers tracing lazy patterns on his skin. "That," she said, her voice tinged with satisfaction, "was worth the risk." Omar laughed softly, his hand brushing through her hair. "I'm not arguing." They talked in low tones, sharing secrets and dreams in the intimate cocoon of the moment. When Omar finally left, the memory of her touch lingered with him, the scent of her skin etched into his mind. As he walked through the quiet streets of Muscat, he felt changed. Gaida had done more than inspire him. She had challenged him to be authentic, to embrace life without hesitation. And for the first time in years, Omar felt ready.